So you control this episode with your keyboard. Now, for whatever reason, you're watching this episode because you want to break into data analytics. You've heard about how it's financially rewarding, how it's low stress, it's remote friendly, and just overall a great career, but you're not exactly sure how to get started. In this episode, you'll play a choose your own adventure game that will allow you to play out different scenarios and allow you to see everything that would happen if you make certain choices. Now, some of you guys may be listening or you may be watching on your phone and may not have easy access to a keyboard. In that case, we've labeled all the choices that you will make in this episode in the show notes / description down below, and you can just press on the choice that you'd like to make when we come to a decision. In this adventure, it's really important to be honest with yourself, so make decisions like you would in real life. Don't try to game the system. Otherwise, this is not going to be as fun or impactful as it would be otherwise. With that, let's get started. All right, level 1, time for your first decision. Now, every data career starts with a choice. What type of role do you want to start? And you'll need to choose between becoming a data analyst or a data scientist. Data scientists typically are more coding heavy, they work on more cutting edge projects, and they have an average salary of $125,000 in the United States. And there's currently about 5,000 open roles in the US right now, according to LinkedIn. Data analysts are usually more SQL or dashboard heavy, more business oriented, and have an average salary closer to $82,000 per year. And there's about 18,000 roles open in the US right now. Now, this is a big decision. It affects what skills you focus on, how you approach your job search, and even how much your paycheck is going to be. But I know that you'll make the right choice. Press 1 for data scientist or press 2 for data analyst. And if you don't choose, we'll have to choose for you. But I don't want to do that. So make your choice. All right, you've chosen the data scientist path. Woohoo! This means you'll be working on more techie projects and honestly getting paid the big bucks. Ka-ching! You'll also be working with more Python, machine learning, and deep statistics, which sounds really, really cool, right? I loved it when I was a data scientist. It was a lot of fun. But wait. Hold on here. Must have a master's degree, 4+ years of experience, must be experienced with machine learning and deep learning. Master's degree needed? Ugh, maybe we should have read some of these job descriptions before we chose data scientist. I mean, it turns out that landing a data scientist role might not be as simple as we thought. By the looks of it, you might need to go back to school and pay a lot of money to get the master's degree. Plus, mastering things like machine learning and deep learning is no joke at all. There's a lot of complex math and statistics involved in those, so maybe this isn't the right choice for us. And to be honest, we've maybe dabbled in coding a little bit once or twice, but we're no programming wizard. It's going to take a lot of effort to learn all of that up front before we can even apply to jobs. So are you sure this is the path for you?
And hey, don't worry, this is a pretty common mistake. It's actually a mistake that I made when I started doing data career coaching. I used to try to help people go from scratch to data scientist, and I did that for about a year. And then I did a year analytics review, and most of the people who I had helped land the job that year had actually landed a data analyst role first, not a data scientist role. And based on that data, I changed everything that I taught about in my program as well as my content.
Maybe if you don't mind, let's rewind and choose a different path that we could explore. Press 1 for a data scientist and press 2 for data analyst. And if you don't choose, we'll have to choose for you. But I don't want to do that. So make your choice. All right, smart choice. You have selected data analyst, and data analysts are in demand. And honestly, you don't need to learn something super crazy like get a computer science degree or a master's degree to get started. In fact, there's a lot more interest for data science, even though there is 3 times more data analyst roles open right now. So it's actually maybe less competitive than you think. Plus, the requirements to get started aren't nearly as rigorous. Even just knowing Excel alone can help you get started with your first data job. This isn't you saying that you're going to be a data analyst the rest of your career. It's just your entry into the data world. It's getting your foot in the data door. Data analyst is a great starting place, and I'm really stoked that you made such a good choice. So congratulations, you have actually made it to level 2 now. But the choices are only going to get harder. Here is the next question. What skill should you start with? There's literally hundreds of different data skills you could be learning at any point. It's incredible. The data world is so vast. Let's just start with one to make things easy. So your next decision is going to be, which of these two popular data tools are you going to start with? Should you start with Python or SQL? You've heard Python is quite popular and can really nearly do anything. You've heard a lot about it before on YouTube and podcasts, and you're pretty excited to learn more. SQL, or standard query language, well, it's been around for a really long time. You've heard of it, of course, but you don't know necessarily a ton about it. So which is it? Which do you want to start with? Select 3 for Python or 4 for SQL. Now, this is a big decision because you'll have to spend some time learning these tools. Both are coding languages that we're not super familiar with. So this decision's really important because it'll define how you work with data, what jobs you're qualified for, and honestly, how fast you land your first data role. So no pressure, but it's time to choose. Do you select 3 for Python or 4 for SQL? If you don't choose, we'll have to choose for you. Woohoo! You chose Python, and Python is my personal favorite data tool. I absolutely love it. You can basically do anything you want with it, from basic data manipulation to filtering and sorting data sets using the pandas library, to building machine learning models using scikit-learn. You can build websites like Instagram was originally built off of Python. It is insane. But fair warning, it comes with a really big learning curve. I'm talking really steep. It is quite expansive. Like, you can do anything with Python, which makes it really cool, but also makes it kind of hard to use. So that's a little scary. And don't forget, before you start, you really have to know a decent amount about programming. You have to know what a programming variable is, what a function is used in programming for, what a for loop is and a while loop, and the difference between the two, when you use one versus the other. You'll have to know variable types, IDEs, and a bunch of other fundamental programming things. And don't even get me started on all the errors you're going to get. Like, get ready to Google and ChatGPT basically constantly every day, all day while you're learning. And by the way, Python is only listed on data analyst jobs 2 out of every 10 jobs. Basically, 80% of the time, it's not going to be on the job description or required for data analysts to learn. So this is kind of a lot to learn from scratch for something that isn't used 80% of the time. So once again, your choice, but maybe we should go back and consider SQL. Honestly, it's probably used double the amount that Python is as a data analyst, and it's probably double easy to learn to get started. So
Python is a great data tool, and I definitely think you should learn it eventually. But I honestly think that you can get paid to learn it on the job versus paying right now to learn it before you even land a data job. Wouldn't you rather get paid to learn it than pay to learn, right?
maybe we just quickly rewind and redo that choice. Select 3 for Python or 4 for SQL. If you don't choose, we'll have to choose for you. All right, SQL, good choice. SQL is honestly an absolute classic. It's been prominent the last 50 years. It is one of the most popular data languages that there is. It's basically omnipresent. In fact, it is the most data tool in all the data roles. So data analysts use it, data scientists use it, and data engineers use it. Basically, everybody uses SQL, so welcome to the cool kids club. And the best part, well, it's easier to learn than Python. There's less complex syntax. There's less debugging nightmares. Honestly, just clean structured queries. And it's not even really that hard to get started because there's only really like 20 commands that you need to learn to get started. And you can learn those in a few weeks. Those 20 commands will help you get ready for most entry-level data jobs. So basically, for most entry-level data jobs, if you know how to select data from a table, filter it with a where statement, and then order it, that's an excellent start. You add some joins where you're able to combine multiple tables together, and man, you're pretty much set to land that first data job. So congratulations, I think you made a great choice. All right, now that you've decided that you're going to be a data analyst and you're going to focus on SQL to get started, you have officially reached level 3. Congratulations. You've decided on your role and you've decided on your main tech stack. Now, here's the next decision that you face. When should you apply for jobs? You can select just focus on your tech skills and don't worry about job hunting quite yet. Or if you'd like, you can take a look at a few jobs and just see what's available, see what the job descriptions say, and kind of just browse around. So select 5 to continue learning SQL, or select 6 to look at some future jobs. And as the previous choices, this will obviously impact your career quite a bit. Are you going to keep studying or do you want to start looking at jobs? So once again, choose 5 to keep learning or 6 to start to look at jobs. And if you don't choose, we'll have to choose for you, and who knows what we're going to choose. All right, you selected 5. You want to keep learning, and I get it. I don't blame you. After all, you just started with all of this, and it's very fresh and new, and there's a lot to learn. And you don't feel ready yet. You want to master the skills first and then worry about applying. And I totally get that mindset. It's very fair. But a fair warning, a lot of people get stuck in this phase and they never actually leave it. They never go and apply. And they get stuck in this scary place that I call tutorial hell, which is you basically thinking just one more course and then I'll start to look for jobs. As soon as I feel comfortable doing these types of things, then I'll be ready to, look at jobs. So you need to be really honest with yourself. Are you ever going to be ready? The truth is, data's really hard. You'll never even master a fraction of it. I sure haven't. It doesn't stop me though. And even if you did master a little bit of it, by the time you did, something new would get released and you'd have to start learning that. And that process would just continue and continue and continue, especially with how fast things are going in the time of AI right now. The truth is, learning on the job is key for every single data role. So you might as well get used to that imposter syndrome that you're feeling and the idea of you don't know enough, because you'll feel that way a lot in your career. And be honest, are you actually learning for learning's sakes? Or are you kind of just scared of looking at jobs? Are you kind of stalling? Is it a stalling technique? Are you taking one more course because it's fun and it makes you feel good? And looking at job descriptions kind of makes you feel that imposter syndrome and kind of makes you feel not enough and makes you feel sad? If so, I get it. That's how I feel too. But if you actually want to get a data job and not just learn the skills, what do you think? Should we take a sneak peek at some job postings or keep grinding? I'll let you make this choice. Let's rewind here. So once again, choose 5 to keep learning or 6 to start to look at jobs. And if you don't choose, we'll have to choose for you, and who knows what we're going to choose. Hey, awesome. Look at you. I am proud of you for being here and making this choice. You, my friend, you are brave, and you are getting ahead of the game by seeing what companies actually want, right? What are they actually looking for in candidates? And this is the smartest move, because now you can actually tailor not only your resume, but tailor your learning based on real job descriptions. And let's be real, they're not going to bite. They're not going to hurt us. We are just looking at these to learn more. We don't even have to apply currently in this very instant. We can look at some job descriptions and just see what they say so that we know what's going on in the market and what the market's asking of us. The more information we have here, the better, because we're just more informed. And with more information comes more power. All right, so you have come so far. In fact, you're actually at level 4 now. Woohoo! Congratulations. You've picked your path, you've learned some awesome tech skills, and you've checked out some job listings, but now this is the hardest decision yet. And you have 3 choices. After looking at some job descriptions, do you move on and just keep looking? Do you maybe hit apply? Or do you hit apply and try to network with the recruiter or the hiring manager? And let's be real here, this job is kind of a stretch for you, so maybe you should just move on. But it's also kind of a cool role, right? I mean, and you've heard networking is a good idea, but you don't really know where to start, so maybe we should just apply and move on. I don't know. This is a tough choice. And if you feel like it is a tough choice too, you're not alone, because this is where most people get stuck. They overthink, they hesitate, and before they know it, months have passed by without them really making any progress or without them even noticing. It is so easy to do, and I've literally seen it happen to so many people. So which is it? Are you going to click 7 and move on from this job? Are you going to hit 8 and apply to this job? Or are you going to hit 9, apply to this job, and try some networking? So go ahead, hit 1. Don't let this choice take weeks. If you don't choose, we'll choose for you. All right, you chose 7, and look, I get it. That job description was a bit scary, and you didn't reach 100% of the requirements at all. So you decided to wait, and you told yourself, I'll apply when I'm ready, because that's when it'll be best. But once again, ask yourself, at what point are you going to feel ready? And be honest, are you kind of just procrastinating here and putting off the inevitable? You're going to have to apply eventually. You might be getting stuck in imposter syndrome. I'll be honest and clear with you. There's no such thing as being ready to apply for a data job. The longer you wait, the harder it gets. It's kind of like standing at the edge of a frozen cold lake and you're waiting to jump in on the dock. It never really gets easier. The water doesn't get warmer. You can keep learning while you apply. It's not like you're saying that I'm never going to learn again. It's just I'm going to start applying while learning. Plus, one thing I can tell you with 100% confidence, if you never apply to a job, you'll never land a job.
It's also really important to remember that job descriptions are actually just glorified wish lists. These are hiring managers and recruiters trying to find the perfect candidate. It's almost like they're trying to find a unicorn. They're asking you to know everything, and in reality, that person or that data analyst does not really exist. And even if this unicorn did exist, most of the time the salary listed on the job description is way too low to actually hire this caliber of data analyst, this unicorn. Plus, you can remember the applications take patience. You get better with it over time. So if you start now, you'll actually have some application experience under your belt, and you'll better be prepared for the next one.
So let's be a little bit more bold here and rewind to make that choice over one more time. Are you going to click 7 and move on from this job? Are you going to hit 8 and apply to this job? Or are you going to hit 9, apply to this job and try some networking? So go ahead, hit 1. Don't let this choice take weeks. If you don't choose, we'll choose for you. All right, you chose 8. I'm proud of you because that took some chutzpah to apply to that job. And you know what? That should be celebrated, especially if that's the first job you've ever applied for. Like seriously, this is me clapping for you right now, but not too loud that it's in the microphone. I'm super proud of you because you're in a precarious situation. You can be proud of yourself. You applied to a job, and you can let that one job be the one job you apply for this month, and you can go crawl back into your shell, into your peaceful comfort zone. That's an option. I'm not going to take that away from you. But you could also start applying to another job and then another job because, hey, this is kind of invigorating. You hit apply and then you hit apply again and then another job and then another job. And soon enough, you're doing what I call the spray and pray method, which is basically you're shooting your resume out as fast as you can. Hours later, you've sent hundreds of applications, and where have they gone? Into the black hole void of the automatic tracking system. Hey, I applaud the effort and the enthusiasm and the confidence. But here's the thing. Applying coldly and blindly online is kind of like throwing darts in the dark. You might hit something eventually, but it's probably going to take a long time and a lot of frustration. And in fact, you're actually 10 times more likely to have success to actually land an interview when you can skip the automatic tracking system altogether and talk to a human being.
You can reach out to a hiring manager or a recruiter, and
this is called networking. So way to be brave, but maybe we can even be a little more brave. So let's rewind again one more time and let's apply and try some networking this time. All right, here we go. So which is it? Are you going to click 7 and move on from this job? Are you going to hit 8 and apply to this job? Or are you going to hit 9, apply to this job and try some networking? So go ahead, hit 1. Don't let this choice take weeks. If you don't choose, we'll choose for you. Booyah! You chose networking. And I love this choice because it requires you to be double brave. You're being brave to 1, apply to the job, but 2, you're being brave to try something new in networking, even if you're not like 100% sure how to get started with networking. And I think your bravery will be rewarded with your time back. Instead of competing with literally hundreds of applicants online, you're skipping the queue and you're going straight to the decision makers like the recruiter or the hiring manager. And this is how jobs actually get filled. Computers don't hire people, people hire people. Heck, a lot of jobs never even make it to the job boards because they get hired by referrals or something like that. I know networking feels weird at first, but this is how you get referrals. This is how you get insider information and real interviews. Now, of course, you're going to get ignored. You're going to get rejections in the networking. People are going to say that they can't help you. But if you keep this bravery up, this consistency up long enough, eventually you're going to get your answer. You're going to get something that says, yes, I would love to interview you. Yes, you're hired.
And with that, yes, you have officially won the game and leveled up to a data analyst. Congratulations. I know it might not seem like it, but I know that yes is coming your way. And when you do get that yes, I hope you celebrate. And I hope you celebrate and share it with me. This year, if you didn't know, I'm renting out billboards in Times Square celebrating anyone that I help land data jobs. So please, when you do land that job, come back and let me know so that I can celebrate with you and give you that Times Square billboard. It's going to be awesome.
So I hope you enjoyed this game and found these scenarios helpful. If you made it this far, would you mind hitting subscribe? I make a great episode like this every single week. And if you'd like, you can press 0 right now to play again. May the odds be ever in your favor.